As we venture outside in St. Louis from winter's deep freeze, the harsh weather may have caused severe damage to your chimney. You may still be unaware of that because sometimes the damage is visible from the ground, like what you see on your screen, and other times your chimney is damaged, but you wouldn't know it unless you have a professional out for an inspection. Speaking of professionals, we just have to happen to have one that wandered into the studio. James Anderson with Approved Home Improvements, the professional when you're talking about chimneys. Now, one of the things that you've always taken great pride in, I know, is that when people call, you get it turned around pretty quick and get an inspector out there. What exactly happens when someone calls you?
So from the time the initial call comes in, as we do most of our shows early in the week, all our calls are ran by the end of the week for service appointments. So anybody that has an estimate or a chimney cleaning they need services, that call is ran by the end of the week they call.
Okay, so if the call comes in today, you're going to be there before the end of the week.
But before Friday, that estimate or that service call will be completed.
All right. So if the customer chooses that inspection, what all happens with that? And you're looking at some of the...
So when we go out, these
are the befores.
These are the before. This is what we're looking for. From the ground, that's a perfect example. The other one was quite noticeable. This you would not notice even unless you got on your roof and looked at it because you cannot see that from the ground. But that's putting water into the structure that's going to eventually cause all your other damage, and it's going to end up like this right here.
And some of that water can get soaked in. It's not that you had a leak or necessarily, it could have been, but a lot of that is just because the bricks aren't preserved, right?
Right, they're porous.
It's just soaking up the water.
So they're like a sponge. So when it rains, they're soaking everything up. And the problem in St. Louis comes when the winter comes and it freezes. That's why we got so much damage. We had so much moisture. Temperatures were up and down. And then we got hard freeze for 2 or 3 weeks with that moisture. And it's did a lot of damage to the masonry structures.
So whether you're calling because you're concerned you want to have the chimney cleaned out on the inside, or if you're concerned about the outside, the preservation package is where it's at. And that can even be if your chimney is only a couple of years old, if you get a fairly new home.
So that chimney right there almost looked like it needed tore down. They'd have estimates, and that's what it looked like after restored it. Crown saver, new covers, and a preservation package. That chimney got dark and moldy. Preservation package stops all that from happening. So not only does it preserve your chimney, aesthetically, you see a lot of new homes, a lot of homes that's been remodeled, but the chimney's already turning black. They think it's from use, but that's actually mold.
And this is why I brought this up. It doesn't matter if you have an older home and an older chimney or a newer one, the preservation package is big. And if you're going to get the chimney cleaned and tuned up or whatever else, the preservation package.
So we would recommend if you have a brand new home, that's just like you wax your car for the first time, not after the paint fades. You do it immediately. And that's what we recommend anybody that's moved into a new home or had one built, just like burying your gutters and getting the water away from the house. You want to preserve the chimney and keep the water out of it.
And I think a lot of this becomes, you know, I'll worry about it in the fall when it's almost chimney time. Now's the time.
Now's the time because actually best time of year. The rains haven't come in yet. The temperatures are up. Gives us a chance to come out and do it. Plus in the fall, everybody thinks it's time to call for their chimney. So the waiting list can get a little bit longer.
Now that's on the left, that is a job that somebody completed. That is a repair job.
That's a fixed chimney. I was just on one last week that looked pretty close to that. I had to tell the homeowners, the bad thing about that is that some of that damage is permanent. It doesn't come off. So we can come in and redo that chimney, but it's going to be a lot of work to make it look presentable. So once that happens to your chimney, some of that can't be corrected.
Don't go the cheap route. Don't go the handyman route. Approved is offering a great deal this month. 10% off all tuck pointing repairs completed by March 31st. Now, this deal also includes a free chimney cleaning with inspection and the option to accept a free preservation package that we were just talking about. To get in on this deal, all you have to do is pick up the phone and call, and you're going to have somebody rapping on your door before the end of the week. 314-780-6080. That number again, 314